evening. Call the council meeting to order. Please rise for a pledge of flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Stankoff our tax work.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell.
Notice requirements of the open public meeting will have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on January 10th, 2025. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board. It should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Small.
Here.
Vice President McAuliffe.
Here.
And President Spiller.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from April 22nd, 2025?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we're going to take letter A by itself, which is an amendment to Chapter 7, which is our traffic ordinances. And this is to add a yield sign at the Avenel Street extension westbound prior to 5th Avenue. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitchell, I'd just like to thank on ordinance A, like Director Nissi, I want to thank TEU, Sergeant Horvath for, Sergeant Augusta going out there. It's the best thing that we're going to be able to do for that area. I think it's going to make a huge success. So thank you very much.
Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is an ordinance adopting the amended Main Street Rehabilitation and Transit Village Plan. Could I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to abstain from letter B, please.
So noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only.
Hello, Ken Gardner, Woodbridge. First, I'd like to just ask, Councilwoman McAuliffe made the motion for the public hearing, but then abstained?
I'm sorry, you said Councilwoman McCall made the motion? That's correct.
So you can make a motion for something and then abstain?
Correct.
Okay. And then it's also number 5 on her agenda as well, and I would think that's a conflict, having it in both places. I don't know how she can advocate and abstain and then make a motion to approve it. Doesn't seem to make much sense. Can someone explain what this amendment does?
This is, I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell? Yes. This is making amendments to the village plan, specifically to permit artistic retail and make change to the signage regulations.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments under letter B? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We're going to take letters C and D by consent. Letter C is a repeal of ordinance 2025-13, which was implementing the C-PACE program, and letter D is readopting it using a little bit different verbiage. If we get a motion that this ordinance, both ordinances be taken up at second and third reading and the public hearing be open.
Motion?
Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters C and D only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed and both ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take letters E and F by consent. These are first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion that both will be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on Friday, May the 9th, 2025, a public hearing to be held on May the 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion?
Second?
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to abstain from letter F.
So noted. Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And then finally, Mr. President, you have resolutions listed before you as 1 through 23. Can I get a motion to approve them by consent?
Motion?
Second?
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to abstain from number 23, please.
So noted. Any other comments? Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll now go to the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state your name, what section of the township or state that you live in. You'll have a one-time opportunity to speak up to 5 minutes. And please do not touch the microphone. The microphone is set.
Hi, everybody. Marge Petra, Woodbridge.
Hey, Marge.
First of all, I want to thank Mr. Simaluka and Casey Wagner for sitting down with Arlene Rhodes and I twice to try to find a solution to TNR Woodbridge Township. They're extremely helpful, very nice to us, and we did come up with a plan that may have to be tweaked a little. That's okay. On Friday, May 2nd, we had a mobile vet come into Woodbridge Township, private property, as we Vito emphasized, and we TNR'd 31 cats. And we are very, very happy with that. And the mobile vet will be back on June 16th. So if anyone needs help with TNR and is a resident of Woodbridge Township, they can call either myself or Arlene Rhodes and set it up. And once we get, we're going to do it monthly, but once we get this under control with TNR and too many kittens, because I have like 9 at home right now, we'll be in a better position that we can have the van maybe come every other month or something like that. But we're not going to stop doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Marge.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Jeff Watkins, Woodbridge. I just wanted to thank Sharon McAuliffe and the Woodbridge Police Department, and everyone else that was assisted in getting us a crosswalk on Green and Gorham. It's been a huge help for our neighborhood. We kind of walk over there a lot over in that part of town. We have a crosswalk with our kids, so now it's been a very welcomed addition, so I really want to appreciate that. It was mentioned and happened very quickly, so thank you from everyone, my wife, my family, and all the neighbors, so thanks.
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening? Any other comments from the public?
Hi, y'all. How you doing today? Everyone having a good day?
Just please state your name and the section of the township or state.
Monica Nagy, Woodbridge Township,
How are you?
Islin. I would like to request, some of us have some loss of hearing. Can we get some louder microphones? No comments?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you. And
No, I mean, I can't hear y'all. Can you get louder microphones or something?
I can speak louder.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, sir. On the road on Corrija, there have been, I have a $1,000 littering fine in front of my house for years, and there have been Corona bottles and trash, and all of a sudden it's cleaned up. What happened that it wasn't taken care of for so many years? And now all of a sudden stuff is starting to get cleaned up. Can anyone answer that question for me? I apologize if I inappropriate, but I'm a little exasperated that for so long the littering has gone on. And what's going on about it? I've been cleaning it up, but no one's paying me. Feel free to give me a job. Any question? Anybody?
Everything goes through the council president. And in terms of your question, I'm glad it got cleaned up.
And why wasn't it for so many years, sir?
I can't comment on that. What department did you report it to?
Oh, many. It seems like people just didn't do so much for so many years. But my only, is it just questions or can I give comments?
It's a comment period also.
Yeah, if I have a bit of loss of hearing, if when anyone speaks at a council meeting, if you could really project your voice, it would be truly appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Hello again, Mr. President. Ken Gardner, Woodbridge.
Good evening.
I just wanted to follow up at the last meeting. Councilman Anderson was talking about the pilot programs in the school. And in this year's budget, we have $28 million in pilot payments. Mr. Anderson pointed out that he's also the county superintendent of schools. I just wanted to again say that for the regular taxpayer, 60% of our taxes go towards the school district. Yet these developers put money into a pilot program, and from your campaign literature, I've read and heard that the town is contributing 25% of the pilot programs towards the schools. So as county superintendent, I'm sure you are advocating for the schools, but if you look at the difference in the dollars, 25% versus 60%, we would owe the school district $9,800,000 this year. And since these pilots go on for 30 years, that comes to $294 million that we're shorting the school district. So while we're building some fields with these money, which is very nice, the school district could do a lot more with the other money, hopefully including giving us a tax break. I just want to again emphasize that I am in favor of a tax break. I think we've got sufficient activity in town and in the budget to provide a tax break to our residents. The mayor last meeting pointed out some information that was not accurate. I have an article here from the Home News Tribune back from when I was a councilman, and it says that John McCormick was the chief financial officer of the town at the time. In addition, I brought with me a copy of Moody's Public Finance Department. As you know, Moody's is known internationally for rating municipalities. Chief Financial Officer McCormick's work was so bad back then, the town got downgraded from AA to A1. That was the first time since 1974 that the town was downgraded.
Mr. Gardner, I'm sorry, what year was this from, this article?
The article was from Home News Tribune, 10/22/95.
All right, so it probably wasn't called the Home News Tribune back then, but okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, whatever the predecessor was. The Home
Trying to find
News
out
or
what
whatever it
year
was, but
you're
we're close,
referencing.
right? Thank
You
you.
said it was 1995, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Chief Financial Officer McCormick also gave me the following chart. He gave it to the council, actually, not just me. It shows that the tax rate for municipal purposes in 1990 was 0.83. The last year on the chart is 1994. It shows that the tax rate is the same, 0.83, several years later. The first year when I was on the council, Chief Financial Officer McCormick was in favor of us changing to the fiscal year. They proposed a $55 million budget, a little over $55 million for just 6 months. At that time, the annual budget was about $75 million. The council, with me voting with them, we voted to cut $7,801,915 out of that budget. Now, because that money was borrowed, we went through a fiscal year process, and the law required you to borrow money. You could not raise taxes that year. With interest, that would be about $12 million over the 19 years or so of that bond issue. So a savings of $12 million. Councilman Gardner back then in 1992 also voted against expenditures of $1,226,800. In 1993...
1 minute, sir.
Thank you. In 1993, I voted against $12,739,425. In 94, $13,395,500. In 1995, $12,846,900. If you take that all into consideration, that would have saved the taxpayers over a 4-year period $1,253. The notion that I was raising taxes is just ridiculous. Many of you have known me for a long time and know I'm conservative. Another newspaper article here. This is also from the Tribune. Unfortunately, it's a little bit old on the edge. I don't have the exact date, but it says, Ken Gardner, he said the council should have cut expenses.
Maybe they didn't date them that far back.
Maybe not. The next article from 8/9/95 from the Home News Tribune said, Woodbridge continues to hold the line on taxes.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
The next article says taxes held steady.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
2
Gardner.
years.
Mr. Mitch.
The last article from the
Mr. Gardner.
Ledger says that there was a zero tax.
I will have you escorted out. I was respectful
You'll have
3
me
times.
escorted
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Have a good night.
Council President,
Councilman Anderson.
if I just would like to comment on his comment. So my comments the last meeting regarding our pilots is throughout the county, we have a number of districts that are experiencing a shortfall. Part of the reason is some of the municipalities are not sharing their portion of pilots because they are building in their communities, as we are. But we are sharing with our school districts. As you can see, that we have School 4 and 5 being built right now, proposal for School 10, the work that was done at School 9, Ross Street School, and then the countless athletic fields and also auditoriums. Anything that had a community impact, our pilot money had impact there. So it was a good thing, but it's really because of the relationship between the municipal council and the school board. And that was my point there. I don't know, I'll have to look back and see. It might be an old campaign flyer that you're referring to, that it said that we were giving 25% to exactly that amount. A lot of this goes based on need of the school districts. And the mayor, the administration, and the council come up with that figure based on as the pilot money comes in. So I appreciate your comments about it, but I just wanted to set the record straight as far as why my comments were made about that. And I still stand by those and applaud our council and our mayor and our administration for their use of pilot funds.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, everybody. John Rotary, Woodbridge. Council President, but last month I asked you about what's the population of Woodbridge Township, and you read over the chart, same chart that I had. You said 103,000 plus, and you keep repeating yourself 103,000 plus. What you didn't see on the top of the chart, it was census of 2020. That's 5 years ago. What's the population of Woodbridge Township at this present time? Of course, you don't know the exact number, but I'm talking about thousands of people more. Because all those developments, we did it. Of course, because of that, we need everything, more police, more fire department, more fire trucks, everything else. Talk about the tax abatements that Mr. Gardner brought up. When we started 10, 15 years ago, we're supposed to only do that, give them abatements on the brown contaminated soil. I talked to other mayors, other municipalities. They do not give any kind of abatements to the place that's not called brownfields. We give them to anybody who wants to build over here. Why? Just to build more apartments. And of course, the mayor keeps saying that we are best town around. Why? Because we got metal detectors in our school? It's not because we're best town around. That's what we got it. Again, when you look at it, we talk about 35 years from now, it's going to bring $30 million, $80 million, $30 million. Bottle of Miller Lite bulb is going to be $50 a bottle at that time. How much we going to make this year, next 5 years? Are we be able to keep all the bills to build new schools? All the schools, they're not paid for. It's not the money was paid for, we build it paid for. We own money for the next 30, 50 years probably. We're growing too fast, and we're putting the, what you call a wagon before the horse. We find out you build a development, and then we gotta catch up to build more buildings. We cannot just do this thing. But we look at the Councilman Anderson, the last meeting, you keep saying how much we do for schools, because all those developments. You mentioned everything from new schools, football fields, baseball fields, all kinds of fields. Not once you said education. We know it's not the building that makes kids educated. You didn't mention.
Mr. Vitalik, so
Let me finish.
in education, we talk about educating the whole child, right? Not just the academic, athletic as well, but the athletics, the fields and so forth, they have an impact on our community, okay?
they do.
However, when I first became a councilman, you came here and you counted how many empty businesses were on Main Street. You counted them. You came and told us that we had 9 empty businesses, and what are we doing about that? All right? Businesses stay because there's foot traffic, right? And we're now giving them foot traffic, and businesses are now coming in town. There's a Playa Bowl on Main Street. There's a steakhouse on Main Street. Why? Because of the development, the positive development. We are one of those towns in central Jersey that we have a number of rail lines. We have Woodbridge, Avenel, Metro Park, and it requires, people want to be able to go to New York City and work and live in central New Jersey. If we don't do that, if we don't try to keep up with what's going on in Cranford and Metuchen, and you see those towns, Metuchen was cited as being the best downtown in all of America, right? We want to develop as well. We want to keep up with our towns, with the towns in central New Jersey. And that's why we developed. It was smart development, but you did come here and you told us that we had empty businesses in Woodbridge Township, and what are we doing about that? You said that.
Yeah, I did, I know, but you still got empty stores. And you do have a businesses that rather than mention those businesses. We know it, I know it, you know it. My question is this, why are those businesses, they're not making jobs? They're small businesses that were supposed to be here 20, 30, 50 years ago. You wasn't here probably, but 56 years ago, town was booming. Then what happened? They put a Woodbridge Center. It's going to help the township. It killed the business in the township. Now the center is going down. Of course, local people moving in. You go now 8, 9 o'clock at night over here, on Main Street, it's empty. Why? Because people are afraid to walk at night.
No.
I'm on a 35, and people speeding, traffic is speeding.
Thank
How
you,
many
Mr. Clerk.
casualties you got recently over here? Again,
Thank you, Mr. Vitark.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Yes, are we allowed to speak more than once?
No,
So I'll speak next?
no, you're done, thank you.
Well, I mean, next meeting.
I'm sorry, next meeting, yes.
Don't be insolent.
I answered you, next meeting, 5 minutes, thank you. I hope that was loud enough for you.
Manners, sir, manners.
Hearing no one.
That's just a crime.
Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion to close the public comment portion of the meeting?
Motion.
It's not a veto.
Second.
You don't own this town.
Excuse me,
All in favor?
you can leave.
Bye.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mitch. There's a motion properly seconded?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Mayor?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry Mr. Gordon's leaving because he said so many things that were incorrect in that statement, several statements he made. But let me try to take these things one at a time. First of all, you can't compare pilots to basic taxes. Mike's lower. Can you hear me? Am I good? I'll just speak loud. You got it? Okay, so there's an awful lot wrong. You cannot compare pilots to basic taxation. Pilots are completely different. We collect, the basic taxation is split roughly 60% to the board, a little less than 30% to the town, 15% to the county, 4 or 5 to the fire district. Generally, there's all different fire districts, so we have to keep the numbers as an average. There is no requirement that we share pilot revenue with the school board, none whatsoever. As I said, almost every meeting since people have been talking about pilots, the school board gets what they need. They pass their budget. In it, it's called an amount to be raised by taxation. They pass their budget. They send us that on an A4F form. We go out and we bill it, and we collect it, and we pay them. Even if we don't collect it 100%, we still pay them 100%. Even if somebody files a tax appeal and gets a refund from us, they still get that 100%. School boards are way ahead of the way property taxes work in the state of New Jersey. We are not required to pay them anything, but we do, because as Councilman Anderson very eloquently said, we believe in the education system in this town. We believe in having proper infrastructure, which is school buildings and fields and all those kind of things. And because we pay money for the school's infrastructure, they have millions more that they can put into curriculum and education and guidance and healthcare and textbooks and all those kind of things. The school board is so far ahead of the game. And since 1999, and I've been here, I was back here then as the CFO, not once has anybody from the school board in 25 years, not once as a superintendent or a business administrator or a board member or a teacher or anybody else come to a council meeting to complain about what the town's doing with pilots in the school board. They love it. The only people who don't like it are the ones who realize how good it is, but are politically motivated, so they're against it because we're for it. Pilots are absolutely terrific, but you cannot compare them. Now, if, using Mr. Gardner's logic, $28 million, we should have given the school board more, but we gave them 7, well, the other 21 million went to the taxpayers. It went to us. We collected $28 million. If this was basic taxes and we never did a pilot, we would have $28 million less in our budget because we would cast our amount to be raised by taxation and bill it, just like the school board, the county, and the fire districts. We have $28 million more in our budget because of pilots. That means taxes could have gone up by more, but they didn't because we have that money. That means we take care of roads and sewers and parks and buildings and you name it, we take care of it. $28 million more. Now, Mr. Gardner talked about the municipal tax rate from 1991 to 1994. Last meeting, or the meeting before that, he talked about the total tax rate when he was attacking Sharon McAuliffe, who's his opponent in the election in November, and he was attacking her for a 10% increase in the tax rate in the first ward with the Woodbridge Fire District. It did go up 10%, but he used the total tax rate then, and he uses the municipal tax rate now, because the municipal tax rate for the last 3 years is up a very minimal amount. We had a 0 increase 2 years in a row and a moderate increase last year. So he conveniently uses the total tax rate when it's good for him to make the argument against Sharon, but he uses just the municipal tax rate when he was on the council. When he was on the council, 4 years, the taxes went up 21.6% in the first ward, in the Woodbridge Fire District. That is fact. It's all right here. That is fact. He is not mentioning that anymore because that doesn't look good for him. The other thing he said is that you voted for the fiscal budget on June 30th, 1992 that had a $47 million number in it as revenue from the fiscal bond. You voted for that. You voted for that. You voted for a $47 million bond. You did. June 30th, you were the ninth and the final vote for that. See, what Mr. Gardner doesn't know, you don't have the floor, Mr. Gardner. What Mr. Gardner has to realize is the entire time that he was on the council, 4 years, I was working for the town. I started working January 1st, 1992. I wasn't the CFO right away because there was a CFO, and many months later I took over that, but I still worked on the budgets immediately. Every single time he was sitting up there on the dais, I was sitting here at this table. He can't get away with saying things because I was here. I listened to him. I prepared that budget that he voted for, and the fiscal bonds were in that budget. And now he'd like to say he had nothing to do with it and he voted for cuts. Maybe there were some things he voted for, but he voted for a $47 million bond in that 1992 fiscal year budget. He voted in 1992 for capital. He voted in 1993 for capital. In early 94 he voted. He stopped voting later in 94 and during 95 because he was running for mayor. So everything he does is political. Everything was good in 92, 93, and part of 94 until he decided to run for mayor where he lost 2-1. So don't tell me about his fiscal responsibility, because he's not fiscally responsible only when it's convenient and only when it's politically expedient. And when it's not, suddenly he's not. So as far as the downgrades, I don't know when the town was downgraded. I know right away we were downgraded in 1992. When we walked into this town, there was a massive financial shortfall. The 1991 budget had a $105 tax decrease, if you can imagine. Find me many towns that decrease taxes. Find me many that decrease taxes. It was a very irresponsible budget. It passed, and we paid the price for it in 1992. There were tax appeals that weren't budgeted. There was insurance that wasn't budgeted. Revenues were grossly overestimated, and we had to deal with that. Hence, it forced us to go to the fiscal year, and that's why we did the fiscal year adjustment bonds. We had a 6-month stub period. There's no doubt we were downgraded sometime in that period. When we came in, there was an audit report with 5 material weaknesses, and 105 comments. Within 4 years, we had no material weaknesses, and we had only 1 comment. And that comment was that our dog licenses were not issued in order. And Mr. Mitch is smiling because he was on the council, and that's because of Mrs. Nussbaum had dog license number 27, because that was her dog's birthday, and she came in the next year and it was number 28 next, and she got all mad. We saved number 27 for Mrs. Nussbaum. So if you had number 112, you got number 112 again. You're not supposed to do that. It's a violation of the law. But that's what we did to help out Mrs. Nussbaum. She probably had a dog chain, she probably had a sweater, she probably had the numbers posted everywhere with number 27. So we gave her number 27 again, and we broke the law. We broke the law. So Mr. Gardner has to realize, I was here for his entire time on the council. He is not telling the truth tonight. He is not. He voted June 30th, 1992, the final day of that fiscal year. He was the 9th and final vote for that 1992 fiscal year budget, which included $47 million in fiscal year adjustment bonds. He voted for it. While he was on the council, his own taxes overall for the whole 4 categories went up 21.6%, but yet he's attacking Councilwoman McAuliffe for a 10% increase over 3 years. And I said that last meeting. What would you rather have? Would you rather pay taxes and have them go up 21.6% over 4 or 10 over 3? I'll take 10 over 3 any day. So I'm going to be here for all these meetings as he brings up these falsehoods. I'm going to be here, and like I was from every meeting, save for vacations, every meeting from January 1, 1992 through December 31st, 1995, when he was on the council. I was here. I remember. I have the facts. He's not going to get away with lying to the people of Woodbridge Township. Thank you very much, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman
If I may. I was elected to the Board of Ed in 2006, which was the same year Mayor McCormick became mayor. Our tracks at the 3 high schools were condemned. Our tennis courts were condemned. We were sending our tennis teams to Middlesex County College to play their matches. We had to borrow from our vending company, who had all the soda and candy machines in the school. We had to borrow $500,000 in an advancement to redo the track at Woodbridge High School. We were broke. And the benefits that our children received by redoing these football fields, these tracks, our baseball fields, the bleachers, the stands at Woodbridge High School, condemned, rebuilt. And not only does it affect our high school kids, all our rec kids play on these fields too. So without this money, I'm confident that half this stuff to this day wouldn't have been rebuilt. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Small.
Yes, Mr. President, before we go into the agenda, I have a resignation I need to read for the record. Addressed to me dated May the 1st. Maritza and I have moved to Jackson Township in Ocean County to be closer to our children and our grandchildren. Therefore, effective May 1st, 2025, I must step down from my position as councilperson at large in Woodbridge Township. It has been a true honor to serve this great township as a councilperson for almost 5 terms. During this time, I tried my best to conduct myself as a public servant who was elected to serve the people of our community. I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to his wife Maritza and our family for their love and support, my current and past councilmates for always keeping the spirit of cooperation alive, addressed to myself for being a mentor and friend throughout this journey, to the best mayor and administrative team in the state. Your professionalism and dedication are put on display every day with the work you do. To every department and employee of our town, you are all the backbone and the reasons we are the best town around. Finally, to the citizens of our township, thank you for your support throughout my years of service. I know I may not have always made everyone happy, but I hope you know I tried my best to be honest and fair. May God continue to bless Woodbridge Township. Stay well. Greg Ficao.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll now move to the agenda portion. My agenda is in order. I'd just like to say, Councilman Ficao, Greg, Maritza, congratulations on your next endeavor. Enjoy. Greg, I remember we knew each other, but we really came, not face to face, but talking to each other, getting to know each other back in 2006 when we both ran for Carol's vacant seat. And you had taught me back then, we're not running against each other, we're running for an open seat on the same party, same line, and you had said it's whatever you do, it's nothing personal. And we all at times maybe get a little, there's a trait that people should really, especially when they come to these meetings, it's nothing personal, it really isn't. And you taught me that. I don't like to use the term, you are the elder statesman. You know me, if it's not MASH or Food Network, I watch TV 35, I watch all the old council meetings, I shouldn't say old, all the previous council meetings, parades, but you always were able to shed something, shed an idea, a thought, your past, previous experiences, and especially really came to the forefront of the last several years with the mental health crises, the health, everything going on. I can go on. I know my fellow council mates in the administration have words for you, Maritza, and your family, but I really, truly, heartfelt thank you for everything that you've taught me. You've taught me a lot. God bless. Council Vice President McCall.
Thank you, Council President. So I wrote something you could say, I'm not good at just speaking. So your commitment after 17 years of remarkable service, 3 of which I've been fortunate enough to share with you, it's not easy for me to see you go. Your commitment, wisdom, and leadership have left a lasting impression, not only on this community, but on me personally. You've been a guiding force, and I've learned so much from working with you in my short time on council. You've set an example for all of us through your passion, your integrity, and unwavering dedication. Your leadership and passion have left a legacy that will continue to shape and inspire all of us on this council. I've learned so much from working alongside of you, and I'm incredibly grateful for the time that we shared, but it's the person behind your accomplishments, your kindness, your humor, your passion, and your spirit that I will truly miss. As you move on to this next chapter, I wish you all the joy and fulfillment it brings, especially in spending more time with your family, your grandchildren, and doing what you love, like hitting the slopes and dancing to music. Take this time to embrace life to its fullest. I hope when you pop back into town, you'll swing by not just bagels, for your favorite pork roll, egg, and cheese. I'll truly miss you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Council Vice President McAuliffe. Councilman Barry.
Thank you, Council President. Attendance in order. Greg, over years you have demonstrated dedication, hard work, and a positive attitude, and making a real difference in the lives of the residents here in Woodbridge Township. Thank you for being such an asset to our team, a mentor and a true leader. As you embark on this next chapter in your life. Wish you all the best in your retirement. Enjoy, congratulations, and spend time with that family. That's all I have, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilman Bauer. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President. Agenda's in order. Greg, I recall a conversation we had, we're at the Fort Reading First Aid Squad, and we were looking at the maps for the First Aid Squad. And we were talking about changes were coming, you know, instead of Port Reading handling Port Reading and Abbott, it was closest to the call. And it was going to be such a good thing for the residents of Port Reading, and you took such an interest in it. It was incredible. I thought you were at times more interested in it than I was. But, you know, you've always been a leader. You've always helped everybody. I called you a month ago about housing. You got back to me in 10 minutes with the answer. You always are making people feel good, and that's something genuine that takes a special person. So I wish you both the best, and I'll see you on the boat. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Councilwoman DeJesus.
God, I've been on council almost 10 years, and Kyle and Greg were the first two council people that were there for me. They guided me, they were my mentors. Over the 10 years, you've become a friend. And, you know, going out with you at different township events, you greet everyone. My kids, whenever they see you, oh, I saw Mr. Ficara, or I saw Greg and he said hello to me, no matter where they are. And that's something special, because not everyone does that. And you make every single person that you speak to feel special, feel like they matter. For me personally, you have been there through some of my toughest times. And I just thank you for being such a great friend. You and Maritza, thank you for your prayers. And I'm gonna miss you, but don't be surprised if I call you and I have a question. God bless you and enjoy your family. There's a season for everything, and you did well in your season as a council person. You did everything that you should have done, and it's gonna be hard to follow your steps because you were exceptional. God bless you and enjoy.
Thank you, Councilwoman DeJesus. Councilwoman Meehan.
Of course, I have to go after you. I wrote it down. There are many hats you wear as a council person that the public doesn't always see. And as we grow in our roles through the years, we learn to find the things we are most passionate about for our communities, for our community, and they become the ones we dedicate ourselves to. We all have different items on our agenda that inspire us and we champion for, always for the betterment of Woodbridge Township. Councilman Ficara, through the years, he has used his well-earned title as Councilman at Large to focus on important issues such as wellness, recreation, human rights, working with students in our schools through the Heroes and Cool Kids program, always taking care of our senior citizens, population, and most importantly, and through my eyes, his biggest passion being a tireless advocate and a voice for our homeless and most vulnerable population. I can't tell you how many times I received a call about a family that had nowhere to go and would be homeless by the end of the week or possibly the day, and the first call I made was always to Councilman Ficara. He would simply say, let me make a couple of calls, probably to Steve here. Let me make a couple calls. I know how we can help them. Let's see what kind of service we can get for them. At least let's get them shelter for today. And tomorrow we would try to find them more of a permanent resource to help them. He always came through because that's what he does. He makes a difference, and he's been doing that kind of humanitarian work for Woodbridge Township since he has been seated at the dais, and I'm sure before. I know myself and the rest of my councilmates have learned a lot from Councilman Ficara through the years, and the tools that he has given each one of us, I know we will continue to use during our time as representatives of Woodbridge Township. Thank you, Greg, for leading not only the township, with this council with energy, kindness, compassion, and empathy for every person that calls Woodbridge Township their home. We wish you the best in this new chapter of your life. You will certainly be missed.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilman Patel.
Yeah. Thank you, Council President. My name is also in order. Dear Councilman Gregg, you have been an outstanding public servant, and it has truly been an honor to serve alongside with you for the past 9 years. I have had the privilege of sitting next to you during our council meetings, and I have witnessed firsthand the depth of knowledge, dedication, and care you bring to our township and its residents. You are deeply respected not only by the fellow council members, but also by the community at large. Your service as a council president was just classic, marked by fairness, insight, and calm, thoughtful approach to leadership. You are exceptionally gifted in your interaction with the township residents and visitors from the other towns who attended our council meetings. Your welcoming nature, respectful communication, and generosity have made a lasting impact on everyone you have encountered. Personally, I'm really grateful to you for the support you have gave me when I was first elected as a council person in 2016. Your guidance helped me find stability, and your example continue to inspire me all the time. Greg, you have also been a champion of health and wellness throughout Woodbridge. You promote healthy living, not just in words, but through action, walking at least 10,000 steps a day for over a decade. Your commitment to physical health is matched by a strong spiritual foundation, and your faith in God is something I have always found very motivational for myself. As you prepare to retire and move to a senior community, we all will miss you deeply. Greg, we thank you for your many years of devoted services. Your legacy will continue to inspire all of us who have had the privilege of working with you. On behalf of all of us, we wish you and your family a life filled with good health, happiness, peace in the next chapter. Please do not forget to visit us. May God bless you, Greg, and thank you for everything you did for us. Also, I have one more announcement. Can I go with that? Yes. On April 22nd, about 2 weeks ago, a tragic terrorist attack in the state of Kashmir, India, claimed the lives of about 26 innocent tourists. Most of them were Indian nationals. My thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families during this difficult time. And in the wake of this tragedy, tensions between India and Pakistan have escalated. And the armed conflicts, actually, it already have started about 2 hours ago between two of those rivals. At the time when world is already witnessing the devastating impact of multiple wars, we all hope for peace everywhere on this planet. Again, I pray for the victims and stand behind them in support of their loved ones. Also, this weekend, the Mother's Day is coming, and I would like to take a moment to wish all those wonderful mothers Happy Mother's Day in advance. Your love, strength, and care are truly appreciated every day. That's all for tonight. Thank you, Council, please.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Closing up the agenda portion, Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. Truly honored to be able to say that the one title that you've given me, Greg, is that I have the pleasure of serving with you the longest of any council person. Truly honored to have a few minutes to speak about someone who has meant a great deal to me, my family, and this community, Councilman Greg Ficarra. After 18 years, I got that number from Mr. Mitch earlier today. After 18 years of service, Woodbridge Township, Greg is retiring from his role as council. That's nearly 2 decades of dedication, of showing up, listening, advocating, and making a difference in the lives of so many. Greg's legacy will be felt not just by the policies and improvements he helped champion, but in the people's lives that he touched, mine included. Greg wasn't just a councilman. To my son Kyle, he was a mentor. When Kyle was in high school, he aspired to become an athletic director like Greg. So Greg would meet with him. Not just meet, he would encourage him, and he would guide him, and he believed in him. KJ has never forgotten those lessons over breakfast. That kind of mentorship is rare, and it's something our family has never taken for granted. And to me, Greg has been a friend, a steady presence during some of life's most challenging chapters. He offered not just support, but genuine care. And in this world that often moves too fast, Greg always took the time to ask how you were and really listen to the answer. Greg, our lineage to Kennedy Mustang and Trenton State football will always keep us connected. But I will miss the fun times we had calling the high school games together, especially our beloved Mustangs. Greg, your commitment to public service has made Woodbridge Township stronger, but your commitment to friendship and mentorship, that's what makes you unforgettable. On behalf of my family and everyone here whose life you have touched, thank you. Thank you for leading with integrity, for serving with heart, and for standing by your community, not just as a councilman, but as a friend. Enjoy your well-earned retirement. You've more than earned it.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. My agenda is all in order as well. To Councilman Ficarra, it's been a pleasure to work with you and for you for these past 18 years. You established yourself early on as wanting to help people, whether it was the countless text messages, phone calls, or emails about a matter that you came upon, whether driving around town or walking, doing your exercises, or residents reaching out to you. You always reached out to myself and the administration, and you affected so many people without them even probably realizing it. So for that, we're very grateful for your service. You're known to be empathetic to many people and their causes, a gentleman highly regarded, reputable, well-respected, and admired by all. You have been generous with your time, your wisdom, your resources. You know, we could have a conversation one day about a township matter or issue, something maybe on the agenda, but yet, to Councilman Anderson's point, you never forget anybody up here to ask about a family member, a spouse, a brother, a sister, a child. What colleges are you looking at this year? Whatever it may be, always from the heart, always, nowhere else. Your interaction, your generosity to the ladies in my office, I know will be missed, as will you. Many conversations we'll still have, I'm sure, between now and whenever that might be, but I wish you and Maritza the best, and again, from the ladies in my office too. You're a true gentleman, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. I'm still not good with this, Greg. I don't know what's going to happen here. Way back in 2006, when I started contemplating running for mayor, I knew that when I won, if I won, I was going to have at least one opening in the council at large, because I knew that Carolyn Ehrlich, who was my chief of staff when I was state treasurer for 4 years, I knew she was going to go off the council and become the chief of staff of the town. So I figured the other three were good, Jimmy and Pat and Brenda, but I knew I had to replace Carol on the council, and the first person I thought of was Greg Ficarra. And a lot of people were contemplating running for mayor back then. A lot of people thought they were going to get Greg Ficarra to run their ticket. They were wrong, because I had Greg Ficarra lined up. And the reason I did is because our fathers were very close friends in the Island Knights of Columbus. In fact, I was friendly with his father. I was in plays with his father and hung out with his dad, even though I'm much closer in age to Greg. His father was a terrific guy, and we got along great, and I knew I had Greg to be on the ticket, and that gave instant credibility to our effort because of the kind of person Greg is. Greg, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Greg Ficara. I don't know anybody who doesn't respect Greg Ficara. And if you can go through life saying that you were well-liked, and more importantly, you were well-respected by anybody that you came in contact with, then you've lived a heck of a life. And that's what Greg Ficara has done. I'm going to miss the calls on Saturday mornings. Hey, Mac, what time you going to this? Oh, pick me up, I'll ride with you. Meet me at Town Hall, I'll ride with you. We spent 18 years together. He's the first person on the council, like I said, and that's 18 years that I've been mayor, all but the first month or two. Greg has been by my side, and I'm going to miss that. I'm going to really miss that. He went to all the events. Other people are talking about his career in, social services and health and all that. I know Carol's going to speak. I know Vito's going to speak, and others. You did a heck of a job on the town council, and I'm really, really going to miss working with you. Best of luck, pal.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Shimulka.
Thank you, Council President. I got a bit of work first, and then I'm going to address Councilman Ficara. I have a tax and sewer overpayments. I have a 100% disabled vet, and I have a tax appeal, and I have a parking refund. Thank you, Council President. With that, I just want to relay a story about Councilman Ficara that happened several years ago. There was a movement in this country to re-examine what we did as far as our police interactions with individuals with mental health distress issues. Councilman Ficara took this to heart, and he came to Mayor McCormick with a rather bold idea that was totally out of the box. He wanted to take a look at how many calls we take for individuals with mental health distress and interact with them on a different level. And Mayor McCormick tasked myself, Deputy Director at the time, now Director of Police Joe Niski, and Dr. Bonnie Nolan. And Greg's vision was to follow up with those individuals that had those mental distress calls where police were just a little too much, but they needed follow-up. So with Councilman Ficara's help and his vision, we developed a plan with Bonnie Nolan, who we engaged a group called SCOMAS, which was an interactive group with individuals with special or mental disorders that needed that follow-up. And with that, the police department, Bonnie Nolan's crew, and Greg's vision, we came up with a program where we followed up with everyone that had a mental stress issue with the police department or interaction. This was such a bold and moving and effective program that the state adopted it. The state adopted it and now has a mental health personnel riding with police officers throughout several towns within Middlesex County and other counties throughout the state, that the state adopted it as the ARRIVE program. So Greg is not only a visionary and a trailblazer, but he's helped the people not only of this township, but of this state. I'm proud to call him a friend, and he is going to be sorely missed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shimulka. Chief of Staff Ehrlich.
Thank you. As the mayor said, you took my seat on the council, and I so greatly thank you for keeping so many of the things on the agenda alive. This year's Youth Month was better than anybody ever could have imagined it could have been. The health and wellness, the fitness, the Senior Month has always been your passion. I want to thank you for your work behind the scenes with Mayor McCormick and George Brew, making sure that the community playground is a safe playground and remains the crown jewels of all of our playgrounds. But what I have enjoyed the most is working with you. You wear so many hats that most people don't even know that you're wearing. Your work on the Housing Authority it's just unbelievable. All the people who live within the Housing Authority know that they can go to you and you will care and you will help them. Probably, in my mind, the most important thing that you did for this town was bring us to Steve Jobin and the Perth Amboy YMCA. We never knew that those services could be a part of our services. And the partnership has been unreal. We have now found homes for victims of domestic violence. They're beautiful homes, and with that partnership, it's a very, very successful program. We're looking at possibly buying more locations for more housing and more projects to do together, because there is no end to what you and Steve Jobin have brought to Woodbridge Township, and that we learn, we grow, and it's just beautiful. And I want to conclude by saying that you are the ideal council person. There's never any personal agenda. There's never been any agenda except to serve the people and to do your job. That's something that you share with your other council people. It's rare, and it's a model that all council people all over should try to follow. Love you and I'll miss you.
Thanks, Karen. Director Newsom.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order.
Thank you, Director Dark.
Thank you, Council President. Just standard bi-weekly refund resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Brewer.
Thank you, Council President. One item is a grant application. It's a contract with New Jersey Department of Transportation, and it's for a Longfellow Drive roadway improvements. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Director Brewer. Legal?
Council President, there's nothing this evening, but I do want to say on behalf of the legal department, thanks for nothing, Greg. I know I speak for Jim Nolan when I say that you weren't a lawyer's dream. You never created any kind of crazy law. You never created any kind of crazy problem. In fact, you were the antithesis of that. You were the guy who solved the problems. You were the guy who was the voice of reason so many times. You were the council member who, when things were tumultuous, were the guy that the council looked to smooth over those rough patches. And so all that you heard from everybody here tonight is true. And I think everyone captured it because everyone here knows you. More than in any other place, I have a great privilege of being around lots of other councils and mayors and governing bodies and things like that over the course of my life. This group is a family. It spends time with each other. It genuinely likes each other. The council over this last 18 years have been people who enjoy each other, respect each other, admire each other. But among them, you were always the guy who was the leader. Always the guy that everybody could count on to be there for the events, to answer the problems, to handle the challenges. And because of that, it's why you felt the love that you felt from this group. Personally, you've been a constant in my life for 18 years. That doesn't mean that we did spend every day together, but you're always there. We always kept check of everybody, as everyone has said. You asked about my kids and my grandkids, and that constantness is going to end tonight. And that's why I think you've sensed the real true emotion of the members of this council. Because of all of that, Woodbridge is a better place. You've made that happen. The town is truly richer and better because of your efforts, and so now it will be just a little less good. Whoever follows you will have a real challenge to have and to try to meet. But on behalf of all of us who have had the privilege of knowing you and working with you and admiring you, and the great fortune to call you our friend, thanks. It's been a great ride.
Thank you, Craig. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Before I second, I gotta ask Council President, which golden girl would Greg be?
That's a combination of all four, but he's got Rose written all over it.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Meeting's adjourned. Have a good night.